Welcome to Red Eye. Hello, everyone. I am Tom Shalhoub. Let's check in with TV's Andy Levy at the Red Eye Tees Deck. Andy.
Thanks, Tom. Coming up on the big show, students at Stanford have built a socially aware robot that's learning social cues from students. The good news is when the inevitable human-robot war erupts, the bots will be screaming for safe spaces.
Yeah.
Plus, a teacher is fired from an all-girls school after an anonymous tip reveals her past life as a porn star. That's all it took to get her fired. Just the tip. And finally, be quiet!
Wow. Get that one underway.
And finally, more and more movie theaters are adding booze to their menus. In related news, I'm never going to a movie theater again. Well, after John Wick 2 next week, obviously. Back to you, Tom.
Obviously. Thank you, Andy. Let's welcome our guests. I told you I had special powers. Physician and surgeon and National Review Institute Regional Fellow, Dr. Kelly Powers. Is that Monterey Montgomery over there? No, it's comedian Aruba Ray Allen. He's never met a button he wouldn't push. Observer columnist Michael Malice. And he's got a slower cadence than a pony at a petting zoo. Sitting right next to me, comedian and author Paul Odo. Okay, let's start the show. A socially aware robot is going to college and studying students to learn how to behave. His name is Jack Rabot, and he wears a tie. So I guess he's a nerd bot. CBS reports Jack Rabot is equipped with sensors and cameras and roams around Stanford University, picking up cues on human behavior. One of the Stanford researchers explained, it's like a child. The child sees things and it learns to do the same thing. Jack Rabot has only been at Stanford a few days, but he already seems to be fitting in. Jack Rabot has also helped get 3 conservative speakers removed from campus. Michael Malice, this actually is, as far as science goes, I'm kind of excited about this development.
Yeah, they made an autistic robot who's learning social cues, literally. No, go ahead, Tom.
Well, it's robots are autistic, essentially, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're not aware of facial expressions or emotions. But what I think is happening here is this. For those of us who support raising the minimum wage to drive cashiers out of work so we never have to interact with them and you could have the touch screens, these robots are going to be driving women's studies majors and English majors and all these other stupid worthless majors out of work because they're bringing nothing to the table. Now you're going to have the robot making Xerox copies for some stupid not-for-profit for AIDS in some third world country.
Wow, very interesting. Dr. Kelly, would this work at medical school where they take more serious subjects?
I don't know. We probably do maybe a little bit better than a lot of kids at some schools, maybe not medical school.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, learning from college students, is this really the specimen we want the robot to learn from? I'm thinking it should roll over to maybe that other school in the north. What is that one called again? Oh, Berkeley? Berkeley, is it right?
Yes.
Maybe.
Something's going on there, right?
Something happened there, I think, a couple days ago. Learning from the burning builds, I don't know, property destruction.
Well, I mean,
it
is learning from social cues. So, for instance, they had a couple of students talking with each other, and it was, instead of going through it, it went around.
Right.
I thought it's very interesting that robots, Ray, are starting to learn about...
Wait, Tom.
What?
It's robots getting social cues from computer programmers.
Yes.
These are the most socially awkward people on Earth. When the last time these guys left the lab and interacted with a human? This is the wrong people. They want to get social cues. We should take them to the bar around the corner, and we'll teach that robot the right way.
Yeah.
Are you a wingman?
I'm a great wingman.
I think I agree with Ray.
Really?
Yeah. That's just some guy named Jack in a cellar. I mean, like, what do girls smell like? Get closer. Is it okay to touch them when they say?
it doesn't have arms either. Let's remember that,
that's
right?
true.
So, I don't know.
That is true.
Learning to hold the door open, I was hoping, but
a
no
very
arms.
metallic tongue.
Yeah. Well, look, I think that they have to, who better to, that's who needs the social cues is these kind of nerdy guys who spend all their time in the lab.
Yeah.
So, all the power to them. Maybe the robot is going to help them get out there and, meet a gal.
Yeah, even in the article it said, like she said, they don't have arms yet, but at some point they'll put them on so they can hug.
Yes.
And really friend zone on another level.
But I'm not sure if they want to, Michael. Well, I think our culture is going the opposite way. You know, we have now sex robots being mass-produced, and they say that people...
We do?
Yes. We
I
talk
didn't
about...
Why am I sitting here? Are you serious?
We'll know
I
when
can be
that
having a
happens.
sex robot?
We'll know when that happens because this won't be happening.
Yes.
anymore. Nothing will be happening anymore.
We do a story on sex robots, so, you know, once every 2 weeks. They're
2
becoming...
weeks I could be having sex every 2
People
weeks?
prefer it. And that once they start getting into this VR technology, they're not going to be able to go back. So, you know, pretty soon, like you said, the robots are autistic. It's going to go the other way, and they're going to have more social skills than the people, Michael.
Well, people are having less and less social skills as years go on because we're not able to have communication with people who we disagree with politically or in cultural issues. So we are losing that ability to communicate, and the robots are picking it up.
Also, you don't have to buy the robot dinner, so you know it's
And that.
a lot of people. It's going to be a great economic
Isn't that
savings.
the way, Ray?
That is the way.
Do you...
I mean, you don't want to be wined and dined, right? No.
Oh, of course not. Why would I want that?
Yeah.
Ray, you
Guys, we're
strike me
giving
as
the
the kind
robot
of
real
guy
bad
that...
feedback.
Yeah, I mean, do you get up in the morning and you don't even make breakfast, do you? You're right out the door.
I don't make breakfast, and I don't. I'm up and out. That's it.
Make apologies.
Smoke bomb.
Right. Partisans keep getting more partisan. Here's more evidence. A New York Times piece notes that in 1958, Gallup did a survey asking people, if you had a daughter of marriageable age, would you prefer she marry a Democrat, a Republican, all other things being equal, of course. Back then, 18% they would want their daughter to marry a Democrat, 10% a Republican, and the remainder didn't care. In 2016, a week before the election, a professor of political science conducted a version of that survey with pretty different results. As you can see, far more people care about the party of their future in-law. Now, I don't care if the guy who marries my daughter is Republican or Democrat, just as long as he believes in small government, fiscal responsibility, strong military, and of course loves Toby Keith. Doctor, I think this is interesting, and it goes to the fact that what everyone's saying, that we're more divided than ever. But why?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So they asked the parents this, so not the children, correct?
Yeah.
And in reading that study,
Yeah.
and it nearly doubled, right, from 2016. It cares more. I mean, it's definitely not a shock to me, considering the wide dichotomy, the divide of political thought in this country, as opposed to it was back in the 50s.
Yes.
But I think it is interesting. It would be really interesting if they asked the children, if they felt the same way, right? The ones that are actually getting married, if they felt that they needed to stay within their party and if it would make a successful marriage. I feel like I've had this conversation over cocktail parties before.
You and all your cocktail parties,
all those
Doctor.
cocktail parties.
Fantastic.
Thanks.
Paul, I think that this is more, for instance, I don't have any sons, but if I did, I wouldn't care who they married. But my daughters, I would want them to marry Republicans. You know what I'm saying?
I don't.
Do you understand?
Why?
Because I'm a sexist.
Well, there you go. This is like going to therapy. Yeah,
No.
you figured it out yourself.
I think because it doesn't matter as much with guys. Women, I think I would want them to be with someone more
Keep going.
like me.
All right.
Like
You
me.
want to be able to hang with a guy.
Yes.
You're going to have to hang with him.
And the thing is,
That's why.
that I could handle a liberal woman. You know what I mean? I can be around them. And I think, generally, conservatives, Ray,
Yeah.
I think conservatives don't have as much of a problem with this. I think it's liberals that they really get hot under the collar for people of an opposite party.
Maybe. Look, I don't really care. It wouldn't matter to me who I marry, a Democrat, Republican. I live half the year in Aruba. I just want somebody who owns a kayak. That's all that matters to me.
Really?
Look, I once had an awkward right swipe with Rick Perry, so I really don't care about.
What was that? Was it awkward or?
It didn't really happen.
But look,
Yeah.
I think, right or wrong, that the right is less emotionally involved in their politics than the
Probably.
left.
I think more people care about, truthfully, I think more people care about religion than about political affiliation.
Really? Are
I
you
do.
Jewish?
Yeah, but what do we? Hey, easy. I don't like that tone.
No, I want no.
I like that.
I asked Ray because
Okay.
I think I think Jewish people oftentimes they do. Is that not a concern among Jews that they want to marry?
I think often Jewish people want their kids to marry Jews. I think Greek Orthodox want their kid to marry Greek Orthodox. Often Catholics want
Catholics
their,
definitely, yeah.
Sure. Although my ex-girlfriend, who you met, I believe, once, she was a
Oh,
nurse.
there's been so many, Ray.
Oh, Thomas. Her family was very religious Catholic, and they would have been very content if she had married me.
Yeah, I think Catholics and Jews, I think they go together like
sure do.
two things that go together.
Like comedians and doctors.
The term.
This is going to be a long show.
Michael, I know you had something to say
The
about
term
this.
for a woman who marries a liberal man is lesbian. Is that true? You're a girl. If you're a liberal, you're not really a guy. I mean, that is where a big part of the segregation is. Nowadays, far left liberal ideology is a complete rejection and repudiation of anything masculine in this culture.
Now, Paul, do you want to? It sounded like you. I mean, just by your body language, you want to refute that point that he just made.
I think it's a pretty broad painted.
Broad is right. We're not talking about broads.
It's a very broad brush you're painting with.
I'm a modern day Bob Ross.
I don't identify myself as anything, so I can't really like come to the aid of liberal people.
Yeah.
But I have seen quite a few over there, that's for sure. On that side. But on both sides.
It grabs back now.
I got all sides.
It grabs back.
Everybody's weak. If you identify yourself as anything solidly, that is just a shield that you put up in front of exposing yourself for the actual person that you are.
Isn't it true? Listen, we've had a lot of people who were, complaining about the liberal snowflakes over time, and then someone on this panel says something against Trump, and then they come in and they're tweeting. There's as much snowflake on the other side, or maybe not as much.
If you try to talk to conservatives about the police or the military, you watch them get PC and freak the hell out.
It's right. It's the outrage, right?
Yes, it's the same exact psychological reaction.
Yeah, it's a lot of people hiding behind this name and then just throwing stuff at each other over Twitter and social media. Nobody's actually.
And now they're actually burning down schools.
Yeah.
Which is going to end very well for them.
And what's going to happen to the robots?
I mean,
that's socially awkward
that's my main
robots.
concern.
You want to marry a Republican robot or a Democrat robot?
Do they come? Do they come party affiliate?
I think they might.
Yeah.
See, I might want my robots to be Democrat.
Why is that?
I don't know. They probably they care for you more. They're more inclined to.
But the taxes, Tom, the taxes.
They're going to give to the rest of the robot community.
Yeah. I mean, remember the Jetsons? They had that woman who came to a point and she.
Was it Irona? Or was that Richie Rich?
That's
Rosie.
my ideal.
Rosie. Her name was Rosie.
Rosie is my ideal robot. Is
that right?
Yeah, I think she was great. Okay, moving on. A science teacher in Dallas has been fired after the school learned about her previous career training guide dogs for the blind. Seems strange, right? No, actually, she worked as a porn star 16 years ago. Risa Woodward was booted from the all-girls school that she taught at after an anonymous tipster revealed her seedy past. The 38-year-old told the Dallas Morning News, "The sad thing is that if these girls find out that I'm being punished for something that I did nearly 20 years ago and had no control of and fought to get out of, well, what does that say about empowerment?" Woodward, who went by the film name Robin Foster and was briefly married to Andy Levy, just very briefly, said she got into the industry because of financial troubles and that she has tried to put it behind her. Ray?
Yes.
Put It Behind Her was actually that was a top selling. You're right.
It was a very good title.
Ray. What?
Look, she's a former porn star teaching at an all-girls school called STEAM Academy. I mean, this is meant to be.
What does that acronym stand for? I was reading the same thing.
I don't know, but it was hot. I didn't really figure out the acronym.
Steaming.
She deserves a pay raise, automatic tenure, and I insist on weekly parent-teacher conferences.
I mean, look, STEAM Academy, I don't know much about the place, but I think her best point is that, we're all talking about empowerment, and it's like the girls, and, she can put it behind her. She said I guess she regrets her past.
This story really upset me because, first of all, I mean, to be pedantic, she did like 12 of these movies, so she wasn't even a porn star. She's like some major figure, number one. Number two, if she had worn a hijab, there would be marches protesting her being fired. But because she engaged in lascivious behavior for money for a brief period 20 years ago, her life has to be ruined. I think that's absolutely disgusting, and it's absolutely un-American.
You're saying is that if she were in the porn films, and then she converted to Islam and was wearing a hijab, they would say, look, she had a conversion.
Yeah, you can't fire someone who's wearing a hijab, but someone who does something like this, which is perfectly legal, and has a long history in this country. I mean, Mary Todd Lincoln was a porn star, according to a rumor I just made up.
What?
Really?
According to a rumor I just made up.
Mary Todd Lincoln.
Tom, look, this woman, she was a porn star. She heard that teacher salaries sucked.
Yeah.
So of course she was drawn to that.
Oh, really?
Getting
that
better
was-
and better.
That was pretty good,
You do
actually.
bring up the point, though, with
that
the
was a good
porn
one.
star. I agree
Yeah.
with you.
Yes.
It's like, is everybody who's in a porn a star? There's no supporting
No,
characters?
you're
or
right. They're
anything?
not
It's
all
always-
There's a
I
key
think there's
grip.
2 stars, or maybe
You're
three.
right.
I don't
It
know.
used to be a porn, an adult film actress.
Yeah.
But then this is the age. Everyone has to be a star.
Yeah.
You
Social
do a couple
media.
of films, you get some Instagram followers, you're a star.
Yeah, not everybody is Will Smith. There's some low-level people.
Was he? He
Yeah.
never did
I'm
adult.
saying not everybody's a star.
I see. Yes.
Yeah.
So do we actually know how many people showed up for the PTA meetings when she was there, like as in dads? just one. I bet you there was
Probably a lot
a
more
enormous
Listen,
turnout.
you know the dads at drop-off noticed something was up. I mean, she still is a great-looking lady. But doctor, do you think? I mean, it is legal. Everything she did, even back then when she was doing it, it is legal. I guess you could say if she were doing it at the same time, if she was moonlighting, it
Right.
wouldn't be. But it's all in the past, correct?
Right. I'd be curious to know if she actually disclosed this on her resume to get the job. And in favor of what you were saying, Mike, I do agree with you. But unfortunately, I feel it's just so much controversy. And it's just such a distraction for the students and the dads. So I see why the school went in that direction to let her go. Although I do agree with you, Mike, as far as she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't break the law, but I don't know, unethical, causing too much of a disturbance. I see why they let her go.
Yeah.
Wait a
Without-
minute, though.
What?
The school, if we're arguing about, the school should be allowed to do what they want, right? If they don't want to have her around, they can fire her.
It is a private
and I'm-
school.
It's a private school.
I think it's unethical of them, but I mean, it's a STEAM private school.
Yeah. Then you come into the whole ethics of it anyway. I mean, where does that? Who better to teach people how to have sex than a porn star? Like, this is overqualified.
Oh, wait, are you assuming STEAM Academy is a?
That was a sex ed
There was-
situation.
there was.
She's a sex ed teacher.
She's a
That's what she
sex
got
ed
fired
teacher.
for that.
Wow.
She's overqualified.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like it's like a celebrity teacher.
Penthouse
great.
Magazine named
Plus,
her
I mean-
Teacher's Pet of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, when you're giving people the porno introduction to sex, like they walk in there knowing more than anything
How to choke properly.
already. Yeah.
You got to do the
When
side.
to- Yeah,
Well, it's
exactly,
also,
yeah.
Michael, they teach.
I learned that from a UFC fighter.
I don't even know. I don't know
Okay,
what you
so
guys
air
said.
choke,
but
not a blood choke.
I don't think I'm supposed to go back there. But
Okay.
Michael, they're teaching this stuff in school anyway. They have people putting condoms on bananas. Just as regular old, wholesome teachers
And she
doing
was
this
a
stuff.
Ron Paul supporter, so they're a particularly persecuted group who should be valorized.
She
in the
really was?
country. Yeah, she
You
had
guys
tattoos.
read deep into this story.
I was looking at the
Everybody
pictures
knows
on the
more about
t-shirt.
STEAM
I couldn't get
Academy than
past
I
the
do.
I've been following
past
her
the
work for
photos.
years. How do you spell her name exactly? Robin?
Her real name
With a
or-
Y?
Yeah, Robin with a Y.
Okay, good.
And 3 X's.
We can ask Andy about it. Okay, coming up. Should you get paid for being alive? The idea is so crazy, it just might work. Next. Robots and machine intelligence are eliminating many blue-collar jobs and white-collar jobs. What to do about it? Well, socialists have a solution. It's called UBI, Universal Basic Income. The government pays you a salary just for living. France, Canada, and someplace called the Netherlands are flirting with UBI proposals, and Finland has already implemented one. Yes, the Nordic country recently began a 2-year trial to give 2,000 unemployed Finns a monthly unconditional payment of the equivalent of $590. But it's not just commies and pinkos. Some conservatives endorse the idea as a way to replace inefficient government programs. Among them, libertarian political philosopher and really smart dude Charles Murray. He suggested an annual block payment of $13,000, of which $3,000 has to go to health care, and then the $10,000 that's left can go to whatever you want. The trick is it has to replace all other entitlement programs, not add on to them. Murray says, quote, the UBI is to be financed by getting rid of Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, supplemental security income, housing subsidies, welfare for single women, and every other kind of welfare and social service program, as well as agricultural subsidies and corporate welfare. Now, to those critics who say the guaranteed income would lead some to idle their lives away, that happens already. In 1 in 5 families in the U.S., nobody works. Maybe it's time to cut them a check and let them go. Michael, this intrigued me. I started reading and I thought, oh, another dumb left-wing idea, give everybody money. And then Charles Murray, he kind of makes sense. Eliminate the whole bureaucracy, and it's like block grants.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no possibility we're ever going to have any kind of national consensus on this kind of scale to remake the entire federal government. I don't know what percentage of entitlement spending the federal budget is, but it's a huge number.
It's huge.
And I mean, they barely got the votes together for Obamacare, and that looks like that's falling apart. There's no way you're going to be able to get like some 60 votes to remake 50% of the budget.
You're so practical, Michael.
It's a failing of mine.
We're talking about theoretics here. Wouldn't it be a good in theory? Ray, I know you would love get your money now instead of waiting until you're an old man.
I would like that because I hit the tables. I know exactly
See
what I would do.
That's it. Okay. Now that's the argument. People say we can't trust people.
And it's a good argument because we can trust people. Because some people would use their money wisely and put it aside for for your food or health needs, whatever. But you blow it all on Taco Bell and cocaine.
What?
So some people aren't going to do the right thing. So I don't think it would work. I think too many people won't take care of themselves properly.
You're agreeing. Who's agreeing? You're both. I need someone to side with me on this. I think it's a good idea.
Well, I've only heard this brought up in relation to like artificial intelligence. If this were to continue on, so it can only go two directions. So either we're all dead immediately, because the robots just see us as a problem and we're over, or we don't have to work anymore and it's like WALL-E. And so at that point, you have to figure out, well, do we pay people to just because they don't need to have jobs anymore.
They don't have jobs. 50%.
Yeah. So you're not
50% of jobs might go because of the robots. That's what they say.
Yeah. So in that situation, you wouldn't need a vote because it's just like, well, nobody's doing anything anymore.
But we're already approaching that point where there's a certain percentage of the population which are basically the pets of the rich.
Yeah.
They are paid to live and to have their needs taken care of, but they add nothing to the society.
This would be
and
even more extreme.
And we're coming to a day when a computer can replace most people because the computer doesn't have an attitude. It can do math. When I go to a cashier and the bill is $6 and I hand them $11, they void their bowels and release their ink.
Sure.
This is your second attack on cashiers during this show.
Where exactly do you shop?
Doctor.
The cashiers are voiding their bowels.
It's not just cashiers and people who work in warehouses. It's doctors. Pretty soon, no more doctors. It's robots doing everything.
Yeah, well, I think adaptation equates to success. So if you can adapt, then moving forward, we'll have a job. I know there's a talk, and I was reading the article on this about how robots potentially are replacing some careers, including mine, perhaps. There was at the hospital I work at, they had a robotic surgery program afterward. I wasn't able to go. I think I was doing a show, but maybe this show, I don't know.
Left them on the table.
But no, but it makes sense. So it's all about adapting, right? Yeah. So will my job go away? No, I just need to learn to maybe I'll be behind a screen or I don't know, controlling this robot on some level. Yeah. So that's, I think, mostly kind of where I'm going with that.
But so you still work. People still work.
Yeah,
but what about
there's always jobs.
But Charles Murray says it's a base income, like he said.
Right.
$13,000 a year. So it's kind of like, obviously you can't live on Social Security and you wouldn't be able to live on this UBI either, but he says that's the base.
So didn't they do the study though in France? I was reading the article, and so in France they did the study and they said it's absolutely impossible to execute, right?
And
for each person it was like 800 euros a month, I think it was, and it comes out to something like 500 billion for the year and completely unsustainable.
And it's
so great on
inflationary,
paper, but
Sure. But it's kind of like the idea of debt consolidation, but with your complaints.
Yeah.
So when you're griping about all these different programs, you can just consolidate that into this one thing to be mad at poor people about instead. You know. So, and I'm telling you, I think it's a good idea to try to take care of everybody. I did mushrooms like 2 days ago, and I can tell you, money is the enemy, guys. That's what I found out.
Well, look, I guess I'm not convinced, but Charles Murray, it intrigued me, and I think you'd like to do it too, Michael, if you weren't so practical. Okay, coming up, Halftime with TV's Andy Levy. And a brand new episode of the Red Eye Podcast is available now. Subscribe on iTunes and on FoxNewsRadio.com. Welcome back, everyone. Time to find out what we got wrong and what we missed from TV's Andy Levy at the Red Eye News Deck. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Tom. Happy Friday.
Yes, it's Friday.
Yes,
Fantastic.
absolutely. Yep. The socially aware robot. Tom, you pointed out that Jack Rabbit, which is the dumbest name in the world,
Rabbit.
wears a tie.
Yeah.
I did some digging. It turns out the tie it's strictly ornamental. It's not functional at all, unlike when humans wear them. I thought that was interesting. Malice, thank you for pointing out that not-for-profits that raise money to fight AIDS in third world countries are stupid.
My friend works for one, and when I call it the Sisyphus Project, she doesn't think it's funny.
Yeah, no, I would imagine she doesn't.
Well, we'll get that rock up the hill someday.
Yeah. Aruba Ray, you said it's robots getting social cues from computer programmers, the people who built the robot. I think that's the key point as to why it has to learn from other students. That's why they had to send it out onto the campus.
Yeah, but if it's trying to pick up cues from other students, but it only knows what it knows from the programmer, won't it be socially awkward and shy around those students that it's interacting with? Aha! Kiko ta Kiko. Andy.
But I think the idea, I don't know what that means. I think the idea is, do we have to bleep that?
No.
I'm being told we have to bleep that.
Not at all. I was papiamento.
Okay. Tom, we don't have sex robots being mass produced.
What?
They're being produced, but they're not being mass produced yet.
Well, I mean, it depends on your definition of mass. Didn't we do a story and they showed them coming off the assembly line, Andy?
Not in huge quantities.
10, 12, 15?
Yeah, sure. That's mass for you?
I mean, yeah. It's a lot of sex robots.
I only need 2.
Is it? Yeah. Tom, why does Aruba Ray strike you as the kind of person who gets up and is right out the door?
Because I think he told me. I went on a date last night. I got up and I went right out the door.
I did not say that. I said I got up alone and went to the gym right out the door.
All right.
I hate the player, hate the game.
What a C block he is.
Oh.
It's a different thing in this business, right?
Yes. We're actually in it right now.
Yes.
Married. People marrying to the same people in the same party. Tom, you said you don't care if the guy who married your daughter is Republican or Democrat, just as long as he believes in small government, fiscal responsibility, a strong military, and loves the music of Toby Keith.
Yeah.
Basically, you want your daughter to marry Todd Starnes.
Well,
I think that's what we're looking at.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You heard it here first.
Todd Starnes.
Aruba Ray, you said you once had an awkward right swipe with Rick Perry. Tom asked you if it was really awkward, and you said, oh, it never really happened.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Commit to the bit.
Oh! You know what? Listen, all right, the truth is I was swiping right while I was sitting in the bathroom stall at the, forget it was a bit.
And Larry Summers was in the next stall.
Again.
Yeah, you know. There was a
Larry
hole in
Craig,
the
whatever his
wall,
name
and
was.
Odo, I'm a little upset. Please come to the aid of liberal men and don't let Malice's dumb generalization go unchallenged.
I feel like I did vaguely. Hello.
I'm in your space. What are you going to do about it?
It's my safe space. Come on in. They help those who help themselves, I say.
Okay.
That's the Republican
I
motto.
don't know what that means.
What?
Tom, you said Rosie, the Jetsons robot made, is your ideal robot.
Yeah.
Did you mean ideal woman?
She's fine.
Right back at you. Well done, Andy.
Just checking.
Well done.
Oh, man, I almost did a spit take, for real.
Dallas teacher fired for porn star past. First of all, I did not realize this could be a problem, and I realized I've got an awkward phone call with HR coming up tomorrow. Also, I want to give credit to Tim Diamond for writing just the tip joke in the show.
Oh,
that everybody-
superb.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Nice.
Tom, you said this woman was briefly married to me.
Yeah.
I don't recall that, but I guess it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I found the picture.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to start remembering things. Malice, you're absolutely right about the hypocrisy involved here, and feminist groups should be all over this, I think.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Kelly, you said you don't know if she disclosed her past to the school when they hired her.
Yeah.
According to the Dallas Morning News, which is where I get all my morning news,
Of course.
the district was first made aware of her adult film past after an anonymous tip last March. She was cleared of any policy violation, and they told her then that she could continue teaching unless her previous career became public, which it now has.
Well, now has.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Did you have something to do with that? No? Maybe Tom did. I don't know.
It says anonymous, so
Is that what that word means? Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's me. Yeah. Odo, you said she was a sex ed teacher.
Isn't that right?
She was a science teacher.
That's sex. It takes science to have sex. I'm not wrong, Andy.
You can't find reliable media anywhere, Paul.
Well, still. Yeah, fake news is probably in the Times.
Guaranteed income. Malice, you said you didn't know what percentage of the federal budget goes to entitlements.
Yes.
That is correct.
Too much.
I think roughly it's like 24% Social Security, and I think like 25% goes to Medicare, Medicaid, and other health stuff.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah. None of you seem to like this idea, except maybe you, Tom.
I mean, I was intrigued.
Yeah.
Charles Murray.
Sure, no, of course. And, you know, like Aruba Ray, you said this won't work because people won't take care of themselves. I would go further, guys, than Charles Murray does. I think when you're 18, you're given a pile of money. like we'll figure out, I don't know what that number is, but we'll figure it out. Then it's up to you whether you want to go to work, whether you want to invest it, or whether you just want to spend it all. But here's the deal. For the rest of your life, once that money runs out, you get nothing more from the taxpayers. So you can live large for 10, 20 years, and then you have to get a job.
Yeah, I would love that.
This way, young people who are like fit and able, they can go climb mountains and whatever. And then when you're older and you're more sedate, you go get a job.
I get it.
I don't know.
I don't think that
I
works.
like how you think.
I don't think it will work either, but I think it's a great idea regardless.
Let's go.
It works in
Let's do
theory.
I think I came up with that idea when I was a young person. Now I think everyone at the age of 50 should be given a huge pile of money.
Yeah. I just want some money.
Your beliefs change as you get older. I think, you become wiser, I think, in a lot of ways.
Let's pass a cup around for Andy.
Yeah. I'm done.
You're done, Andy. Thank you. Coming up, drinking in movie theaters. It's not just for hobos anymore. Movies and booze, that's next. Movie theater attendance continues to decline as more people would prefer to spend their time reading books. So, what are theater chains to do? Add booze. Yes, they're installing bars to boost profits as states are relaxing their liquor laws. And it's paying off. Boozy movie theaters have seen a 30-cent per patron increase in concession sales. One theater exec called it, quote, the fastest growing amenity in our industry. Dollar for dollar, alcohol doesn't cannibalize candy, soda, or popcorn. If I put a bar in, I can almost guarantee my food and beverage revenue will go up. Now me, I prefer to get good and liquored up before I take my daughters to see Finding Dory. It's just cheaper. Doctor, what do you think of this?
Going to me first.
Yeah, got to go to you first.
Of course.
Do you go to the movie theater anymore?
Not as much as I would like to go.
Yes?
Yeah, I'm not
Why?
against it.
Why? Why don't you go?
I think a lot of it may have, no. It's expensive, right? I mean, we're spending how much, like $20-something? Netflix is way easier. Just sit on the,
it's
have
easier.
my bottle of wine, back to that, on my couch with the Netflix, right?
That's it. Like, you're making sense now. Wine. You want to sit there, you want to have a cocktail, and you want to watch the movie.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat candy, Ray. Movies are for kids now. It's not an adult experience. I do take my kids to see the movies.
Sure.
Like Finding Dory, etc.
Absolutely.
But I prefer, as an adult, I would prefer to watch it on TV at home. Why? Because I can pour myself a cocktail.
It's true. And also, I went to the movie theater a couple weeks ago, and half the crowd was drunk and rowdy. And we were watching Manchester by the Sea, and it was really not a great place to mix alcohol and in that movie.
Depressing movie, right?
Very depressing.
Yeah, but a good film.
Yeah, it was good. But it's $8 for a beer, and 50 cents you can upgrade to a pony keg. So that's actually, it's actually not so bad. I like the fact that you just like to stay home on Netflix and movies. This is great information.
No, I don't.
It's like they call you Netflix and
Netflix and chill.
Yes, yes.
That's what they call it.
Michael.
Yeah.
They got to do something. But I think, I don't know if they can do anything. I think that people are not going to want to go to the movies. It's going to die.
I agree with you completely, and I think it's also what's going to happen is they're going to be getting hit with a lot of fines because you're going to have one 21-year-old and you have all these high school kids, and he or she buys beers or wine for the whole group, and that whole movie theater is going to be hit by the local law enforcement people. How are they going to enforce this? It's hard to enforce in bars. It's going to be impossible to enforce in these like megaplexes.
Well, we have these things called IDs and these other things called flashlights.
But if there's one person who's legal, that person can buy beers for everyone there, and then you see the usher coming by.
Pass it down.
Yes.
But there's another
Pass
issue
it down.
too. The other issue is, come on, we drink, we have to get up, go to the bathroom. That's annoying. People are going to be getting up and down, going to the bathroom, right? And not to mention, if we're drinking, we're probably getting a little sleepy, right? You know, red wine at the theater. I feel like there goes my $20 and now fall asleep watching this.
The doctor
I
is
haven't made
passing out in the movie theater.
Tonight. We should just
Paul, we used to sneak into the theater. Somebody
did.
like in the same way, like you would get one person buy a ticket, open the back exit, and everybody would pile in. Michael may be right. They're going to take one and pass it down.
Yeah, totally. I mean, people are doing that already.
They are.
People have been drinking. They sneak booze into theaters forever. And it's also amazing to me. I love it. It's like, the guy's like, such a revelation. We can make more money if we sell alcohol here. It's like, what have you been asleep? This is how people make money. But yeah, it's also a great answer to just making stupid remakes of the same movie and just get people wasted and they won't care. Just sell booze. And it's like, okay, let's make another Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
We just came out with another one, but everybody was trash, so we'll just do another one. and cycle it out.
And why are they chicks now?
What? Yeah, well, were they? I was drunk.
Yeah,
I don't remember. Yeah, I thought that was Bill Murray.
Right.
Yeah, no, I know. It's a good idea. I think it's going to work.
Well, the thing is, though, Michael, I think that one of the most annoying things, and the reason people don't like to go to the theater, is that people kick their seat, they make noise. It's the out of control patrons, and I think the beer is just going to add to that.
Well, also, on the other hand, though, I hate the screaming children. So maybe they're going to have the rule that you can't be under 21 and go to these special theaters, in which case you don't have to worry about those annoying kids.
That's fun. Now you're on board.
Yes.
Always the screaming children. I don't think that children scream as much as people make them out.
All it takes is one.
Oh, yeah.
The booze in the
Only
theater,
bouncers.
that to me is going to be as bad as having cell phone service on the subways or on a plane. It's just going to be, it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
There should be more bouncers.
It's just stay home with Netflix and chill.
There you are.
Coming up,
She's got a brown
how many chicken wings will Americans eat during the Super Bowl? Find out next. Go Pats. Coming up in the next Red Eye, Charles Cook, Ebony Williams, Seth Herzog, and Kennedy. Ain't no thing but 1.3 billion chicken wings. On Super Bowl Sunday, Americans will not be holding back eating-wise. According to the Department of Agriculture, it's the second biggest food consumption day in the U.S. The first, of course, is Michael Moore's birthday. Here are some stats put together by Forbes.com. It's estimated that Americans will eat more than 1 billion wings, 12.5 million pizzas, and 3 billion pounds of kale salad. Okay. One of those is fake news. Personally, I prefer to have my meals custom prepared for the big game. Bill, what's on the menu for Sunday?
For the Falcons, or the Dirty Birds, a Dirty Bird sandwich, blackened baked chicken served with Georgia Peach salsa and sweet potato fries. For the New England Patriots, it's lobster rolls, New England clam chowder, and Cape Cod potato chips.
To drink, from Atlanta, it's Coca-Cola, and from New England, it's Samuel Adams Boston Lager.
Then finally, dessert, a sweet chocolate souffle. Oh, and don't worry if it falls. A little Boston cream, and you can make it look like a deflated football.
Oh, Ray, you didn't like that one?
Boo.
I don't like that joke either, but
you're
you
a
know,
Pats fan.
I am a Pats fan. But I mean, how could you deny it? If he had the souffle, you're going to make a
Sure, you got to do
joke.
it. It's a good
Look,
joke.
Ray, first of all, who's going to win the game?
Patriots.
Patriots, yeah.
Patriots by.
Give a spread?
I think they're going to win by 6.
6. Do you have a do you have a party? Chips, wings? I don't like. I'm not a wing eater.
If the Patriots are playing, I want to stay home alone. I'm sorry. But I'm going to stay home alone and just watch the game and really focus on it. If my team wasn't in it, then we can party and.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I went to a Super Bowl party at the Cotters.
Oh.
When the Pats lost to the Giants, it was a terrible night.
It's a horrible. Your night is ruined.
Ruined.
Awful.
Your week is ruined.
Terrible.
Doctor, Super Bowl parties. What do you snack on at the game?
I'll be staying home alone. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Do you know there's a National Chicken Wing Council? I might have got that wrong. But anyway, I actually looked it up today.
Yeah.
The amount of chicken wings eaten on Super Bowl Sunday could go around the Earth's surface 3 times.
3 times
Just,
makes
you know,
sense.
Fun factoid.
Yeah.
Wow. 1.3
Just,
billion,
you know.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be watching the game, and I'm a Pat fan, so there you go.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Michael, what's the it's live it up on Super Bowl Sunday.
I've never even really had chicken wings. I was a Russian kid that wasn't part of our cuisine, and I don't get it. They're so gristly, and you get all the tendons. It just seems, and bone.
I don't
the
like-
proportion of meat to bone is very poor.
Very poor. And the thing is, when I eat my chicken wings, it's a little embarrassing because I don't. I don't finish them. I'm not a great, I don't strip the bone.
It's like starving people food.
Yeah.
Because you got to get in there and then you're all a mess. And you're like, oh, thank God. Like people on Survivor, they should have chicken wings. 'Cause
Yes.
They're going to get every little bit of meat. Me, I can be a little wasteful.
Yeah. I feel like I should strip the bone. I feel like it's manly, but I don't do it. I feel like.
Yeah, you got to put it in there and just rip it all the way out,
an
and then
animal.
crack the bones and get the marrow out.
We got to go, but prediction on the game, what do you think?
I think it's going to be a good football game. I really don't know who's playing.
He doesn't care. No, I got to go, Ray.
Patriots are going to win.
Good commercial.
Special thanks, Dr. Kelly Powers, Aruba Ray Allen, Michael Malice, Paul Odo, and me. Thank me, Tom